Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and we're going to be playing some budget decks for Historic. So Historic is the legacy-like format on Arena. It's all the cards in Arena plus an injection of certain anthology cards that come in. So with all the budget decks we do on the channel, we generally keep them around 10 to 12 rare mythic wild cards combined. Again, as a preface, this is budget as in on Arena, specifically because Historic is only an Arena format. Not looking at paper costs. A rare is a rare, doesn't cost any different here. So what we're going to start off with, and I'll try to do a couple budget videos for those of you who are new to the client or just haven't been playing that long, don't have a lot of the Historic cards. So this is a mono blue tempo list. So mono blue back in like the Kaladesh time, Dominaria time was a very popular deck. It was built around Tempest Djinn, 3 mana 0/4, which gets +1 power for each island you control. Tempo is kind of a mix between an aggro and control. You're trying to disrupt your opponent. So a lot of what we're doing with this deck is playing out at instant speed, flashing a lot of threats and kind of go from there. So in this particular build, the only rares mythics in the main board are Tempest Djinn, and for Brazen Borrowers, we have 2 rares in the sideboard that I'll get to. 22 lands. We have kind of the dorks. We have Siren Stormtamer that can protect our stuff. Spectral Sailor can draw us cards, flash in. You have the Brineborn Cutthroat that can get big. You have Merfolk Trickster that can screw up combat math or shut off abilities, stuff like that. Then the kind of the engine of the deck is Curious Obsession. So Curious Obsession requires you to attack each turn with a creature, otherwise it drops off. But when that creature deals damage, you get to draw an extra card. So that fuels you from being able to counter all your opponent's stuff. So ideally what you want to try to do is turn 1, drop a dork, turn 2, obsession it, and then hold up counter magic. In this particular build, I've opted to use Unsummon instead of Opt. Kind of more of a tempo play. You can protect your own things, but also reset the opponents. There's a lot more creature decks going around in Historic right now, so I think having interaction for their board's better. I do have 1 negate. I like the hard counter, but we'll try it out. I might change this to another Lookout Dispersal after we play some games. And then for Wizard's Retort, it gets reduced by all the wizards in our deck. So Wizard, kind of go from there. Is that all the wizards we have? Okay, so most of the time it's 2 to 3 mana counter spell with upside. Sideboard wise, we have Grafdigger's Cage. This is good against the Luca decks, so they can't agent you. This is good against Winoda, so they can't Winoda combo kill you. Aether Gust is the only answer to a Ceratops on the stack. Generally what I would suggest for this archetype, if you do have the rare wild cards, splash black in your mana base, add Watery Grave, Drown Catacomb, and then place some Noxious Grasp in Heartless Act in the sideboard. You have Cerulean Drake versus the red matchups, Disdainful Stroke versus bigger mana decks, Essence Capture versus creature, and 4 Mystical Dispute versus the Control-y style decks. You really want to stop Teferi from coming down with this deck. So we'll play some on the rank ladder. 94%. I was just been jamming random brews all day, so I haven't really done too much. I'm trying to work on a Call of the Death Dweller, Goblin Chain Whirler, give it Death Touch, kill all your opponent's stuff deck. It's not quite there yet. It's a little inconsistent. So I'll queue this up, play a couple matches with it. If you do have any decks from Historic that you'd like to see, do drop a comment on YouTube or Twitch. While you're there, if you do enjoy the content, if you can, drop a subscribe on YouTube or a follow on Twitch. Both are free and easy ways to help out the channel. So Bosch is generally pretty aggressive of a deck. We go first, so I'll probably just keep this. The Djinn's a good blocker in this matchup. They usually won't have ways to deal 4 damage to it. And then when it comes down, it's a 3/4, and then it'll be a 4/4. We can probably close the clock pretty quick. Our counter spells usually aren't that good. Mind you, with this one, they go a little bit larger on curve. This could also be the Gruul version. So Bosch has a couple different variants. There's a Gruul version that uses Luca to kind of pod into Yadaro. It's one of the popular decks. So Gruul's a bit of an issue if they can get under us. If it is Gruul, then they will have 4 power to get through the Tempest Djinns. Come on, opponent. If you want to really go, you pick 22 different islands for tilt factor. I think if we were on the draw, I wouldn't keep this hand. Really like a Lookout's Dispersal. Just give me a play on 2. Or a Wizard's Retort. So we got 6%, 8, so 14% chance to have a shock. When the aggro players take their sweet, sweet time. Okay, so this is the mono red version. Sailor's fine. Gives us something to play out this turn. I think we just try to race. Like main board, they usually have the advantage because they have removal, but we can get Aether Gust and the pro red Drake post board, and then essence captures instead of some of our other counter spells. Like us having negate in the main board is kind of awkward here. So they're playing more of an all-in aggro style. It's very weird they played this post-combat. Yikes. Okay, so they have Chain Whirler, so I'm actually not going to play out. I think we actually wait, because they're going to play Chain Whirler here, and I'll Wizard's Retort it. So I think here I'm going to use Sailor, and I'm going to block the Tin Street. They don't want to pay that mana anyways because their follow-up play will be this Chain Whirler. Probably should have attacked. We weren't planning on blocking with this. And then next turn I have protection up for the Djinn with the Siren Stormtamer. I think we just still counter. Cost them multiple spells there, so it's probably okay. Next turn I can Curious Obsession this. Attack in. So I'm going to hold off. I have Lookout's Dispersal to counter if they go Bosch. And then I can always bounce and reset with Brazen Borrower. Chain Whirler. Chain Whirler's probably okay. They deal a point there. They hit me for 4. Alright, let's just take them off this. Heraldic Banner will be pretty good for them. Really want to hit a land here. So they can go Banner. If they go Banner, they might just try to go Bosch. Because Banner, they hit me for 5, 6, 7. We still just do this. Try to draw a land here. Jeez. We should be fine though. Because they'll play out a Bosch. I take 2 here. Whenever it becomes target of a spell. So we'll just tap this. Block here and then attack him for 6. So getting out unscathed against mono red first game is actually really good. Because now post-board we just bring in these Aether Gust, Cerulean Drakes, Essence Captures, and then we are going to cut the negates, trim a Brazen Borrower, probably the Lookout Dispersals. I just want like a lot of cheap interaction. To be honest, the Sailors cut down maybe 1 or 2. The Sailor's good because you can play it on 1. Actually, maybe we keep the Sailor in. Trim the Brazen Borrower. We'll trim 2 on the play. On the draw. On the play, we'll bring him back in. Because if we're playing it on 1, like the whole point is for us to play it. Okay. Try this out. A little bit awkward. Play draw is going to be a big disparity here. And they got Chain Whirler. So they'll probably bring in Lava Coils versus us, so something to keep in mind. So here I'm going to tap the Chain Whirler. Eat the Fervent Knight. And then they sack that. That's fine. It gets it off the board. I think we just run with that. Fanatical. These Firebrands really help just get that those extra points of damage. Yeah, this hand didn't really work out. this. So I think here the plan... do this. This means it only does 2 damage to us. Never hitting the 4th land also hurt. They had a lot more removal. It's probably a bad keep. You know what? These Brineborns probably aren't that good. Probably rather play Brazen Borrower. The tempo of bouncing is going to be better. Because here, the amount of spells we have to play, they have the Fanatical Firebrand the turn that comes down to be able to hit it. And they've shown already Shock, Stomp, and the 3 mana that gets spectacled for 1. Ideally what we'd want here is like turn 1 instant speed dude, turn 2 essence capture, or like some sort of removal. I mean counterspell. Because like Bone Crusher you don't really want to bounce unless you have to, because you're taking 2 plus the stomp again. Chain Whirler, depending on the tempo. But stuff like Annex, you'll want to bounce. It's a good tempo play. Mono Red's usually a tougher matchup. This hand's good. So I'm not going to go Obsession yet until we can get the protection down with Siren Stormtamer. So probably go turn 1, just flash this in, turn 2, Essence Capture. Pretty decent. Do want a 3rd land if possible. So hope they don't have the shock. Do. Wanted the land there. So they could have Chain Whirler. This will die with the Chain Whirler. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to let them play something out first. Let them go to combat. Yeah, I guess they're just trying to give us some chip damage. I think we take the 3 here and then just flash in Brineborn. We've really stumbled with lands the last 2 games. Because I think what we do, we go Chain Whirler. So let this resolve. And now bounce, so they take a point of damage. And then that protects my Brineborn. Hey, finally. I think I want counterspell magic up, so I'll just do this. I want to get this big enough that it can go through the Chain Whirler. I'm going to throw the Trickster in front of Chain Whirler this turn. Because the problem too is they have Castle to make this 4 power to first strike into this. So maybe I should have countered this. When the mono red player has 5 lands and you've hit 3, feels bad. Understand they have a Bosch, but we need to be able to do this. Thank you. So hoping for a counter spell here. Nope, just all those lines that we've been missing. This will deal 6 damage to us. I think we need to play this out though. I guess I should have waited, played the Brazen Borrower. Because they can also make Tin Street now unblockable. So that's going to deal 2. Actually, we can double block here. It's probably our only... Okay, so Aether Gust is actually pretty solid. And Unsummon. Sweet. Some nice tempo cards finally. So we'll return this to the opponent's hand, or to the top of their library. Can get this up to 4. Let's see, if they pop this, then I won't bounce yet. Because I'd rather do this on end step. If they pump with this, then it's different. They probably attack in here. Okay, perfect. This is a loose attack on the opponent's side. They lose that. They know that we have the Brazen Borrower, so it's a bad attack to come in with. Okay, we got the Unsummon, so we should be fine. And they actually have to block here, because that's 8, 10... Actually, I should have just bounced it. We would have had the win. Missed lethal there. It's fine. We know that they're drawing a Bosch for the turn. And we have 2 Unsummons. This is why I kind of like Unsummon a little bit better in this matchup, or like compared to something like Opt. With all these creature decks, if these were Ops, we wouldn't have done anything. Got him! 10 rares, bullying the opponent. Take the win. So for those tuning in, we are playing a 6 rare, 4 mythic, historic budget deck. Mono blue tempo. Rares being Tempest Djinn and 2 Grafdigger's Cage in the side. And then Brazen Borrower on the top end. I'm actually going to cut the negate and go up another land. Think that's probably reasonable. Yeah, that seems reasonable in that case. So let me just give Arena a quick reset and we'll fire it up for another game. It's been a little laggy today. So with all these budget series, what we try to do is play an archetype as much as possible for between 10 and 12 rare mythic wildcards, and then take it to the ranked ladders. So we're currently on the mythic ladder with this one. In the percentages, but haven't been taking it too serious. Once we hit mythic, I've been brewing with historic. Ciccio Baccia. Coming out with the Italian sleeves. And sweet. So this one's really good because we have a few pirates for lookouts dispersal. And the opponent's on Imari, which is likely either humans or Winoda. So Winoda. So really want to hold this counter for the Winoda turn. We ain't blocking with it anyways, so it's probably going to be Cutthroat this turn, and then hold up counters. Slower start by the opponent. Could be a stomp. No stomp. If that's the case. Oh, they're probably holding up mana to discard for Fauna Shaman. So the nice thing too is if they just play out another non-Winoda creature, we probably still counter, to be honest. Okay, get rid of Haktos, going to find Winoda. So basically you attack with non-humans and then you get humans. You get stuff like Haktos, but Angrath's Marauders. It's a 7 mana 4/4 that makes all your damage doubled. So I'd like another land here ideally. Nope. So we got some plays. Do I care about this? I'm just gonna bounce it. This makes it big enough that it can attack. So normally you'd put the Obsession on something other than Siren Stormtamer to be able to protect, but because they block up the ground pretty well, didn't want to. This is probably one of the top tier decks. This one, the Hooglandia opened 3 on the weekend, so like 250 deck tournament. It was like 4 of the top 8s, I think. Cool. Cool. So they'll probably dump something, go find Winoda. We have 2 counter spells for the open. This will get it pretty big. Their turn is just Winoda. Then I can also Merfolk Trickster and tap this out of the way and then attack them. Okay. So playing the lookout dispersals first. That is not a hard counter. So Essence Capture, obviously, for the deck that is all creatures. So Grafdigger's Cage turns off Winoda. I'm actually going to cut the Brineborn Cutthroats. They're not that good here. It does reduce the amount... No, we still have enough pirates. 4 more cuts. Think on the play, because we have the Aether Gust, it hits all the key pieces. Probably cut down a Lookout's Dispersal. The Unsummons. Unsummon's a good tempo play. Let me cut a land. If we can get this down, we're pretty good. Let's run it like that. So if they can go like Elf on 1 into Warboss on 2 into Winoda on 3, it's a pretty formidable clock. Not the best, but Sailor into Obsession is good. Play draw here is going to be quite impactful. Getting under our counters. So I'm actually gonna hold off because if they play Winoda, I can Trickster it. Thalia's fine. So I'm going to take the Warboss off the table. So sometimes they're just a beat down deck. Actually, there's merit to taking them off the Elf if they don't have a land. Okay, they have the land anyways. Same. Just play out 2 creatures this turn. Thalia is actually really annoying. Just keep them off creatures here, take them off the land. Okay, Knight of Autumn here, just the 4/3. Again, fairly formidable. I don't love it, but I have to. Probably want the Unsummons back. I think just having more interaction would be better. Adonto is going to be hard to get off the table. Okay, Aether Gust is a card with text. So I can throw this in front here. Just be mana efficient, because they're probably not going to put this back on top. They do put it back on top. Interesting. Trying to find a counter here. Did they put it? No, put it at the bottom. It's a weird interface. Like, they showed it was on top. If I knew it was at the bottom, then I wouldn't have attacked. Okay, they hit Winoda. They have 2 triggers here. Let's see what they hit. They missed once. Wow, they missed twice. So they could do this. They can take 4, but they're dead. 12 cards didn't hit anything. We take those here. We take those. Top deck in the format? Don't think so. Let's run one more. Got bailed out there. Because I definitely don't attack that turn if I knew they put it on the bottom. I bluff that I have a counter spell. But I feel like at that point they just jam Winoda. They're pretty far ahead on board anyways. Sounds cool. Opponent's on Umari, so it's likely another Winoda deck. I can go Brineborn into double. Oh, this hand's so much better if we were on the play. Yeah. So a bit of the concern here. They're just going to run us down. So we'll get this down here. Not drawing another land sucks. Opponent wisely is attacking before. So I'm doing this. I'll tap the Fauna Shaman, so they have to activate it now. Hi. they do not want to give us cards. They might not have... Oh, they have Winoda. No blocks here. I think we take the damage. So they can attack in first. They can also try to search for Winoda. Which is fine, because if they go to combat without playing Winoda, I'm going to Merfolk Trickster the Odonto Vanguard. This becomes 4 power, and then I can go and block this Spellbreaker. Because even if they fetch Winoda, cast Winoda, actually, we can do this. This forces them, if they want to use it, to activate it now. They get Thalia. Certainly interesting. I can still pay for the counter spell. So we're kind of in like a lock here. We've gone past 2 Winodas. Oh no, no. It was supposed to stop in their upkeep. I wanted to tap down their thing. Let's go you. And then tap down Umari. I need something with evasion so I can draw cards. So this turn I have enough to cast Brazen Borrower, bounce, and then, sorry, bounce, cast Brazen Borrower, then I can Curious Obsession it. So let's probably bounce Umari. I should have probably bounced Fauna Shaman. Because this lets them turn any creature they draw. Yeah, it was probably a misplay. Targeting Fauna Shaman was the right play there. Okay, so that's fine because that can also deal with Winoda. Okay. Yeah, that was a big mistake on my part. So what I'm going to do is the Winoda trigger. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It's showing 2. So by flashing this in, I get to tap down Winoda, so its ability doesn't go on the stack. So they don't get the benefit there. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Doesn't quite change the clock, so let's hit him here. Trying to find Aether Gust, a bounce effect. I have 3 Brazens. Can't cast Brazen, so I need Unsummon because this draws me a card, but it's not enough. So we're trying to find Unsummon here. Nope. Obsession. So they're getting their attack. We'll see if we're dead. Okay, that's a miss. Haktos. Haktos rolled 2. So not very good on Haktos' side. Yeah! 2 wins against Winoda. Alright. Aether Gust in this... Oh, not Disdainful. Essence Capture. Cage. I forgot this was game 1 still. So Brineborn comes out. Doesn't really do much. Cut the Lookout's Dispersal. Keep the Sailor. Think we just go like that? Or go like that? This gives me a flash threat. Djinn's the way we win. It's really just, as much as possible, keep Winoda off the battlefield. If we can get Cage down, then we don't need to worry about Winoda. I forgot, like, we just came out of a game versus Winoda, so I thought we were in match 2. That's why I was trying to dig towards Aether Gust. You're really just trying to tempo them. The opponent also have had some pretty bad flips with Winoda. Try it. I'm not in love with this hand. We have Capture on 2. That's actually pretty solid. So if they jam Winoda... Okay, since they're going to combat, I think we just pass. See what they follow up with. Fauna Shaman. After they hit the land drop, okay, they have the elf. This hand, we shouldn't have kept this hand. Don't have any blockers, and they're just going aggro on us. We're not coming back from that. They went too wide on us. Had the counters, but we weren't doing much. I actually think we go Brineborn over this. Because the problem is we can't really... Like, I don't want to play this out naked. Doesn't block that well. At least this can get big enough and it lets us ambush things. And if we're not playing spells... Maybe also cut a Djinn. Like, this matchup's all about going fast and, like, disrupting. Djinn, I don't see us wanting to tap out ever. Sweet. It'd also be nice if the opponent doesn't start every game with Elf on one. Are you a wizard? No, you're a pirate. Okay, no elf on one. Good start. You're also not a wizard. So it's a little awkward. We need a land for these wizard's retorts. Don't think we're on cage yet, so I'm probably just bouncing the Odonto. Really wanted to land there. I can get this big enough to block Spellbreaker. So we really need to land this turn. Magic. Magic. 23 lands. Yikes. They're boarding into Ceratops now. Okay, well there's no way for us to win now. So this is why I said at the onset, you want to have a splash of black in this deck if you're not playing budget, to have hard removal. So what you would do in a matchup like this is you would board out your counter spells and then play hard removal. Noxious Grasp, stuff like that would also help. We weren't playing around. We didn't see Ceratops prior. We also got stuck on lands. If we ever hit a third land, the hand would have played out a lot better, but overall not bad. We went 2-1 with the deck, and we were competitive against Winoda, which is really a metric to see. It's one of the top decks in the format right now. So probably like the main board you can probably keep pretty static. Because like in terms of black things with flash, it's really just a splash. So yeah, I would literally just keep the black for the sideboard and play Noxious Grasps. So you can upgrade it with like Watery Grave, Hallowed Fountain, or Watery Grave, Drowned Catacomb. That should be enough. You may want maybe 1 or 2 cycle lands, and then just play it from there. But overall, the deck performed pretty well. As a budget consideration, it's definitely something. If you want to stick mono blue, you can also go Stonecoil Serpent, play some number of those. It is another option to deal with Ceratops. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I've been going for about an hour. Appreciate everyone who stopped by today. If you want to catch more historic content, I have a bunch of videos up on my YouTube channel. Also in the midst of brewing, the next video will be likely this Boros artifact aggro deck, Ozolith, Tempered Steel, making all your artifacts bigger, and then like all that glitters, and you got the Steel Overseer. Kind of have some shenanigans going there, so that'll be the next video. But wrapping this one up, thanks everyone for stopping by, stay safe out there, and have a great one.